Good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing tonight? As always, let's get the first little bit of housekeeping out of the way first. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Let me know in the chat so that I know things are going the way that they should for the stream. Let's see. Do we have anybody watching on Twitch? We've got one person watching on Twitch. I'm going to assume that's probably Eric watching on Twitch. Well, I guess I probably shouldn't assume, but... and we've got 9 viewers on YouTube so far. That is awesome. And let's see. Danny is letting me know. Yes, letting you know. All right, perfect. Let's get this up there so that people know where my channel is if they're having to be watching on Twitch. And yeah, welcome to the stream, everyone. You might notice that I've got a blue finger tonight. I sliced my finger open just about 45 minutes before the stream tonight, working on some stuff. I've got to work on some remediation work on the this thing right here, using a knife, and sliced myself open on my finger. So Band-Aid on there, got the bleeding stop Band-Aid on there, and just to kind of protect it, I've got the little finger from a glove on there. All right, let's see who all is here tonight. If you are here watching the stream, let me know you're here. Drop a comment in the chat. That way I know who I am having a conversation with tonight as we kind of get everybody in and wait to get kind of really started really well on the work. All right, let me get my correct page there. So far we've got Donnie, good evening, Donnie, and we've got Skull, good evening, Skull, and we've got Danny, welcome, Danny. Danny, did you buy anything else, or just the Kronos 1? Did you buy more, or just the Kronos 1 when you were at the hobby store? All right. Tonight I've got some work to do on, let me just get this up here. Got some work to do on this part. I've got some gaps between the ship and the metal plate at the end here and at the front here. That's just because some epoxy cured in there with the gap, so I've got to clean that out. I was actually cleaning it out with a knife when I got the little bit of a slice in my finger, so just have to continue cleaning that out, and then I'm going to really clamp each of these corners down to redo those. So I've got some work to do on both sides in those same spots, so those seem to be the trouble spots, and actually this one side here, the starboard side, seems to be in worse shape. You'll notice that I still have a cross T bar on here. Good evening, Ken. Welcome to the stream. That is going away. The cross beam on here, the steel cross beam, is going away. I'm just waiting for the aluminum disc to arrive so that I can go to my dad's workshop and we can remove that, and we can set up how we're going to connect the disc to the arm, and we will have to make some modifications to the disc too. The disc is the disc that's going in there, which I can actually show you what it's going to look like. This is what the disc is going to be. The CAD file for that is courtesy of Hagen Miller, who sent that along to me, and that is available to anybody who wants to make use of that for their projects. Just let Hagen Miller know, and he will pass it on to you. And we also have to say thank you to Wayne over at Motion Picture Miniatures, because it is actually his original CAD file for the plate that he's got, the acrylic plate he's got in his Don Shoko D, that he sent off to Hagen, and Hagen modified for the 650D. So we're all kind of working together to get these projects done. So let's see, let's go back to the bench here, and Danny says Enterprise D release, Kronos 1, a bending tool for photo etch, perfect plastic putty, some wiring, and some microfiles. Very nice. Sounds like you had a nice haul. yeah, a nice haul at the hobby store. And I'd love to be able to have access to some of those kits that are in that store here in Canada, because we cannot get the Revel kits in hobby stores here in Canada. So the JJ Prize, I'd love to have a JJ Prize on my shelf in my stash to build at some point, but yeah, they're not available in stores here, and they are super expensive around here on the secondary markets. So yeah, not something that we currently have a vast amount of access to. All right, let's see how we are doing. Yeah, so 11 viewers. Let me know you're here, because I like to know who I'm talking about. I mean, if you want to just lurk in the background, that's fine too. But it's always nice to know who I am talking to. All right, we are going to get started very soon. Danny says, I can always get it to you, but shipping and taxes, yeah, it's pretty hard to, or pretty expensive to get things across the pond that way. I just wish that there was a way that we could just commercially get it here. So, all right, weekly update. I am on a bit of a loss weight journey, a weight loss journey, and this week was a little bit plateauy compared to the last week's. I have now lost, I think I was about 13 and a half pounds that I'd lost last week. I am now down 14.7 pounds, which is 6.67 kilograms, or for those of you in the UK, that is 1.05 stone. So yeah, down 14.7 pounds. So a little bit of a plateau this week. It's been going a lot slower. But apparently that is the way that it goes. So I am down to just about 175 pounds. 175 pounds. So on the way. Let's see. Tim McPherson says, Tim, Colorado, I have the Helios D on the way. Nice. It's still on the way? Is that the third round? Or did you get the kit that somebody didn't want? I'd be curious about that. And Ken says, keep it up, Andrew. Yeah, I understand that what I'm doing is not going to continue to lose the pounds at any great rate. So I am looking at kind of following a bit of a weight loss regime in the next week or so, just to help me get past that plateau time. And we'll see how that goes, because I need to drop. So I was at about 190, which is the heaviest I've ever been in my life. And I need to drop down to about 140, in that 140, 145 range. So I've a total of about 50 pounds to lose. So 14.7 pounds out of that 50 pounds is gone. But I need to keep moving for my health. So we're continuing on that journey. Let's see. And Tim says, third batch. Yeah. I'm hoping that will not be the last one that's available, because someday, once I get all the projects off the bench, I wouldn't mind having my own copy of the kit. But that's only possible if they happen to make some more. But actually, before that, I think I would love to build. I would love to build the 350 Excelsior or Enterprise B that they have available. That looks so nice. I mean, even the 650 and the 460, I think they are. Even those smaller scale ones look really, really nice, and I would love to build that. Welcome, Todd, to the chat. He says, good evening, Andrew, and all in chat. Welcome to the stream. All right, we should probably get started on doing some remedial work on the Enterprise D here. So let me switch over. I'm gonna sit down. Let me throw over here. I'll pop in the corner, and I already started before stream, which is why I've got the blue finger. Removing I'm probably going to have to remove my glosses in order to see it properly. But I have to remove some more of the epoxy. It cured with a bit of a gap. So I've got to remove more of that. And I think this is probably going to be too thick. It's a little safer. Might be able to use it on part of it here. I can't just completely remove. The plate. It's bolted in. And two, it's really epoxied down in the middle here. So I can't really separate it there. So I've just got to pick away at this, and so I'm going to just chat with the chat while I work on picking this away. And it was exactly this work I was doing earlier, pre-stream. Probably about 45 minutes before stream, that led to slicing my finger open. So hopefully I don't slice my finger open. Hopefully you guys are going to keep me company. Welcome Darth Trent to the chat. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good evening or whatever time it happens to be where you are. I know it's got to be 3 in the morning for Danny. It's either 2 or 3 in the morning, I think, for Danny. So, who knows what time it is. All right. It would be a lot easier if I could just pull this whole thing off and strip that thickness of epoxy right out of there. But it's just going to be a matter of chipping it away. Oh! I've got something I can show you. This might be of interest to some people. Let me go grab from over here. Let's see. Danny says it's about time I get back to work for you. For your again, Andrew. I'm not sure what you mean there, Danny. I'm sure you'll clarify here in the morning. It is, but it's 3 a.m. where Danny is. So Donnie says, "Be careful, Andrew. You need those fingers for building." And Tim asks, "Is this model more work than you expected?" Honestly, I didn't know what to expect because nobody's built it before. So there's 3 of us I'm aware of who are building this thing on YouTube currently. So there's myself, there's Lou Del Maso, Uncle Lou, and there is Phil at Spruverse. So we're, as far as I know, we're the only ones on YouTube building it, and nobody's completed one yet. So there's no instructions, so there's no guide to follow. So yeah, I mean it's I think what's time consuming right now is the armature. The armature support, getting that figured out is probably what's time consuming. But here is what is going to be ultimately supporting this thing inside the base. So this is the this is the original metal plate that is it's twice as thick as what it's supposed to be, and discovered that when the parts came, and talked to Helios, so they recognized that it was way too thick, so they sent out new parts to everybody. But I'm using this, since I've got it, to be a solid base inside, the display base for the for the D. And this is going to sit down and be, let me just switch back here. This is going to be bolted down inside whatever the wooden base is going to be for this thing. And then the copper T here has been silver soldered onto the steel plate and allows for a 1-inch copper pipe to go in. And the reason why I wanted to use a copper T on this, and why I'm not going the route of, say, permanently installing a steel pipe into the ship like the other guys are doing, is because these have to ship. When they're done, they don't stay here. They have to ship. One of them is actually going to Wonderfest and is going to be on display at Wonderfest, so you'll be able to see it there. So they need to ship and they need to travel. So the post needs to be removable from the ship. So this is going to go inside the resin block that's in here, and this will nicely sit on. And there's a, I'm not going to put it all the way on right now, but there's really good solid connection there. But it has to be removable for shipping. So that's why I've had to come up with a little bit of a different solution to what any of the other guys who are building this are doing, who are just kind of like keeping them there. I mean, I would imagine Lou's probably bringing his for the contest, but he's planning on separating his saucer, which might make it a little easier for transportation. But the nice thing about using the copper T, and I'll probably get, like for the Enterprise E's that are around here, so I think they're behind me, I'll probably do the same thing. Now, they are much smaller copper T's, but I will probably get them silver soldered to a steel plate or something, because the T's are nice because it provides an escape route for all of your wiring to come out to your board, whatever you're connecting it to. So many other options, you don't have a great escape route for your wires. So this gives a nice solid support. This plate will be bolted down into the display base, and the post will go up through, and the ship will sit very nicely on it. Now it'll be a longer copper post than this. I've just got this for being able to work with it because I don't want the ship sitting too high off of this space right now to be able to work on it. And actually, so I've had this part up on the copper T, and it's very secure. I mean, I don't know how secure it would be once the saucer and everything like that is on it, but I mean, with this front heavy metal support arm on this piece, it sits nice and snug. It doesn't go anywhere, so that's going to be a really nice, secure, removable mounting system for it. So I'm really happy with that. It took a while for my local metal shop to get this simple thing done and to me. They must have either been super busy or maybe they didn't think that it was a priority, but it finally got to me. It's nice and secure. It's not going anywhere, and I'm quite happy to have a solid support for that. This will lose some of its weight when the steel crossbeam comes off of there, and so the whole package of the 2 discs, aluminum discs going into the saucer, according to FedEx tracking, they should have been here yesterday, but they weren't. FedEx told me they'd be here yesterday, and they weren't because I was going to be going to my dad's shop today to get the rest of the work done. But the tracking shipping information tells me that the package is 6 pounds, which means each one should be about 3 pounds. Ken says, Andrew, Tackleberry had asked you about a commission earlier. I'm sorry, I missed that. I'm not seeing it on my software, so let me go right back to YouTube proper. How far back is it? I think. Sorry, just trying to find it here. Just after Todd appeared. Okay. Oh, okay. I see it. Sorry, somehow I missed that. Let me see if it's in my other chat here. Yeah, I might be missing some stuff. Let me refresh. Yeah, I think I was missing some stuff in my chat program. Yeah, so Tackleberry says, "Hey Andrew, how much for a build? Do you do commissions? If so, I have a 1000 scale Defiant." You would need to message me directly to talk about that, either through Facebook or email. My email is available on both my YouTube page and my website. The 1000 scale, that's a pretty small one, isn't it? Because what scale is the regular one? Give me a moment. I'm going to take a quick peek here. Yeah, because the nice there's a nice size 420 scale. Is it 4? Is that what I said? The box says 420. It's the one that Donnie's been building. I'm not sure how big the 1000 scale one is, but yeah, that would be something that you would need to talk to me. But I am booked. Really for the next year, and yeah, so there is a little bit of a wait at the moment, especially because I've got 2 of these 650 scale Enterprise Ds on the go, and hoping for something else in a little bit too. All right, I need to get caught up on the chat here because obviously I have missed stuff. Danny said, "No, I've said is it about time I get back for you again? Do you need me to get back to working on the code for the E's?" So I think we're good on the E's at the moment, because we know that everything is working, and I am finishing the seam work and prepping for paint. So I think we'll basically want to tweak everything once the models are essentially done, if that makes sense, Danny, because I think we've got all the effects we need, right? I think we've got all the effects, but we'll probably want to tweak them, timings, and get the sound and everything like that. I mean, if you're able to sort out the sound, that would probably be the best thing. Everybody's saying hi to each other. Let's see. Okay, Danny was copying Tackleberry's thing, and then saying hi to everybody. Blair's in the house. Welcome, Blair. Welcome to the stream. He says, "Hey, buddy, glad you recovered. BC elections tonight. YouTube is better." Yeah, I'll probably be checking out the BC elections once the live stream is done. I am essentially, it doesn't matter where the election is. I'm an election night junkie. I love to see the results coming in. So I'll probably watch that. I'll probably watch New Brunswick on Monday night if I can. Let's see. Donnie says the 1000 Defiant is about 6.5 inches long. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty tiny one. And then Ken says, "Donnie, you should do commissions on Starships. You could do a 1000 Defiant. I'm sure he could quite well. I'm sure he could do a Defiant this big and paint it really, really well." Donnie's good. Let's see. Danny says, "Yes, but I still need to make them push button trigger able, and we need to come up with a sound system and then time the effects properly." Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, you know what needs to be done. I'm not a doctor. I don't know those things. So, yeah. Let me put this back. And then while, let's see. And Blair says, looking forward to planning a wicked base for the 650. Yeah, did you see the support there I had? Let me just bring it back and show it to you. I can't remember whether I sent you a picture of it, but the original steel plate that came with the kit that I couldn't use because it was too thick. The copper T, silver soldered on, and 1-inch pipe. Now I've just got a really short one in here just for working with it, but this is going to be super solid and will allow for shipping, transport, travel, all that kind of stuff. Blair says, I did, it's boss. Yeah, I was pretty sure I sent you some pictures. Danny says, making them push button ready won't be a big job, but setting up the sound system would also be new for me, but it should be doable. We just need to get to together agree on the hardware. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just need to take some time when we both have some time to sit down and work through that. I'll have to get you information on the touch panels that I have, because I'm sure that I'll probably need to make it LCARS ready. So we'll probably need to work on it in that kind of a direction. Donnie says, I've done a couple of commission builds, Ken. Yeah. All right. Let's get this over here. Ken says, are there any aftermarket parts for the 2500 Enterprise D? Chat, you can answer that. I don't know. I can't imagine there's a whole lot out there for it. I can't see that small of a kit getting too much love. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. I just can't imagine a kit that size for the D. I mean, I like the bigger ships. I like building big ships. Big ships are my thing. Which is why I would love, absolutely love to build that 350 Excelsior. I wish there was just a magic thing I could use to clean out the cured epoxy here. I don't need to get it too far here because then it gets pretty close to the hull. So there's just a little bit more in this section I need to clear out. Then I'll squeeze some more in. Oh, I found a little bit hiding here. I was going to try to use this because it's a little safer to use, but that blade doesn't fit in very well. So I just need to get rid of a bunch of this stuff that just gobbed up too thick. Because we want a nice, good close on this seam, and we don't want it to be too thick. That's why we got rid of the thick metal plate before. Because that metal plate was too thick. I thought I'd clean this section out completely already. Clearly, I hadn't. Let's see. I need to get bifocals. Jordan's here. Welcome, Jordan, to the stream. Donnie says, I like big ships and I cannot lie. Jordan says, all you other modelers can. Yeah, everybody's kind of getting into that there. Okay, yeah, I see what's going on. All right, yeah. I don't know how long that 350 is going to be available. That Excelsior. Let's see. Oh, okay. I'm starting to make some progress here. Oh, we were talking about the meta glasses last week and how that would be great for first-person perspective on doing the work. Thing is that it seems they only film in portrait mode. That doesn't do well for what I do. I need landscape. So hopefully they come out with something similar that shoots in landscape. Danny says, Andrew, great idea with the perfect plastic putty goo last week. I've used it to fix some mishaps on some of the windows. You can do really detailed work with that. Yeah, the kind of like the slurry. Yeah, and it was Boyd who talked about that originally, where I found that piece of information. Yeah, works out really well. Blair says, I think Andrew's workload's going to go up after Wonderfest 25. Says, I want the Helios B. Oh, the Enterprise B even better. I like the B better than the original Excelsior. But yeah, yeah. I mean, see, like, talk to them, see if you can reserve it, because or even put like a reserve it with a down payment or something, because I don't know how long they're going to be available, because I think they're just doing a limited run. I would talk to Daniel at Helios and just find out that information, what you need to do to be able to secure that so you don't miss out on it. It looks like a gorgeous build. So getting there. Slowly. Hopefully I don't slice my finger open again doing this. And Donnie says, gonna drop off for a few minutes to record some on the Defiant. I get that. That's the life of a content creator. Sometimes if I've been on the HTM stream, I've just muted my microphone and recorded within OBS if I needed to record something. So just didn't even say anything, just muted and recorded, because you know, you just have to record sometimes, because you don't want to move on without recording the progress you've made. Danny says, Andrew, get me in on that Helios B project. We'll set him up with lasers in his models. I would love to do lasers. Yeah, I might, if I'm going to be serious about doing lasers, I might need to stop at Daytona Beach when I head down to Florida, and pick Mr. Merck's brain on setting up the lasers, because I haven't seen anybody else do it successfully, and he's done it several times. So we'll have to see. And Jordan says, gotta record when you have the need and opportunity. Yep, you gotta record. And he also says, frickin' laser beams. And of course, and Blair says, sharks with lasers. Sea bass. Aggressive sea bass. Danny says, we'll figure it out, Andrew, like we always do. Yeah. That's one of the benefits of doing one of those older ships that have the like phaser turrets rather than the phaser strip, because then you have a pinpoint where you can actually shoot out a laser. The problem is that they're red-orange phaser beams for Federation ships, and the red/orange. Really, Danny? That should it should not be bothering you, because I've got it set as low as it possibly can go, as low as it can go. How low can it go? In YouTube, so it should not be pestering you. I'm not sure why. Hopefully it's not third time already. Wow. It should not. I do not. Are you watching on a computer or on a phone app or what? I don't know why it's doing that so much. It should not be doing that. Oh well. So what was I saying? Yeah. So the red lasers don't show up anywhere near as well as blue or green. Green is great for Klingon. No problem with that. PC as always. Not sure why it's doing that. But red lasers, you really have to add fog to it in order to be able to see them. So if you're firing the lasers with the phaser effect, you either have to go with a super powerful laser to start with, and you need some fog effect in order to be able to see it fire the phasers. But it is a really cool thing to do. You want to make sure that kids are not playing with it, and that whoever takes possession of the model is going to be super responsible with it, because you don't want somebody lasering their. You'll shoot your eye out, right? You don't want that happening. So I'm curious if this is going to be enough to get rid of. I need to take my glasses off and get a really good up close look here. Oh, I think I need to take some more out. So I'm going to slice away at this and keep an eye on the chat. See what's going on. I think that the Excelsior/B will be a dream to build compared to the D. I think that they've learned a lot of lessons from doing the D kit. What's going to be fun on the Excelsior/B is that paint scheme. So we'll see. Andrew is just out here spending my theoretical money on this laser beam idea. Yeah, Jordan, have you seen Simon Merckx do the lasers on the refit? Either the 350 or the De Boers? They look really cool. Difficult and challenging and wrought with issues that you have to solve, but very, very cool. And Jordan says, why have I never thought about this? Yeah. You can't use a laser pointer. You can't use like a commercially available laser. They just are not strong enough to work. You have to source good, strong, proper lasers, and that can be an issue. It can be difficult to source that stuff, and it can be a little bit pricey. So it's not necessarily an option that a lot of people are just gonna willy-nilly go for. But if you can do it, it is cool. All right. Jordan says, have not. Gonna take a look for sure. Yeah, check it out. Ian's here, said, howdy, hosers. Of course, you're on a Canadian stream. Missed that the last couple of streams. How is the new metal armature working out thus far? Well, I will give you, and he says, what's up, Ian? I'll give you a quick lowdown. Let's see. Oh, and Blair says, I love the B model. I kind of had wished the A was an Excelsior class, and when I saw her in Generations, it was Homecoming. Yeah. G is a beauty as well. Yeah, and there's some good there's some kits of the G available from Horner Shipyards. Some resin kits of that available in some decent sizes. I'm not quite sure what sizes those are available in. Yeah. But the G is definitely an interesting one. I might have been happier if they just kept it as the Titan A, rather than making it the Enterprise G. But I mean, it doesn't bother me any. I do like the original. Like, I like the Luna class Titan. I like the Luna class. I'd love to do build a good one of the Luna class someday. So Jordan, for you, just a quick update on the armature. What's going to happen is this: the arm works out really well, and but I'm getting rid of the copper T. I'm getting rid of the T crossbeam on here, and what I'm doing is, thanks to Hagen Miller. And Wayne over at Motion Picture Miniatures, I am going to be installing this thing into it. I don't have it yet. It was supposed to arrive yesterday, but now it won't arrive until Tuesday. No, actually, it's arriving Monday. I just wanted to say it wasn't arriving until Tuesday. But so this is an aluminum disc that's going to be going into the saucer, well secured in, and it's going to really evenly support the weight of the saucer. It'll be connected to the let me switch back here. It'll be connected, so it'll be below the metal arm, and I'll work out some way of connecting it, tethering it to the steel arm that's in here. So I'm going to need to probably just chew out a little bit at the back. So just the back, this is the back end here where the neck is, and I'll just need to chew out some of the area in the middle to make space for the steel arm to go through. And I'll probably do a threaded support. So probably have threaded bolts run through here, connected to that plate. That way I can meticulously adjust the distance between the steel arm and the aluminum plate. I want the steel arm to go all the way through because this is going to rest, the top of the saucer is going to rest on this, and then it'll be tethered to the aluminum plate inside the saucer. And I think that's going to give us so much good support. The biggest thing I was concerned about with these is that all of the support was going to be basically centralized on these points, and I didn't want them to eventually like dig into the resin, or for like the resin to warp down around it. So having the aluminum plate inside is going to really give equal support all the way around, and will help keep the whole saucer in shape for the lifetime of the models. So that's where things are with the arm. And then I showed this off earlier, but since you've just come in recently, here is the base plates, the base support. This will go into whatever display base we choose to build, and it'll be bolted in to the bottom. So like if we have a wooden bottom on the inside of the display base, it'll be bolted down. This is not going to go anywhere. The copper T, the 1-inch copper pipe, goes in and allows an escape for the wires going to the control board. So, yeah, there we go. That's the update on that stuff. Let's see. Danny says, okay, fourth commercial block. Is anybody else having the same issue? It seems to be like 1 or 2 people per stream who seem to get inundated with advertisements. Let me just double check here. I mean, it should be. Yeah, it's set to the lowest ad frequency possible. So I don't know why you're getting those issues, but is anybody else getting those issues? Please let me know. I want to try to solve this issue. Let's see. People saying hello to each other. Jordan says, smart to have the weight distributed throughout the saucer. Yeah, I didn't want those stress points with the support. Tim says, were the aluminum discs expensive? Depends on what you define as expensive. They were about, they were, I want to say they were, here, I will pull it up and I will tell you how much they were. So if you're interested in that for your build, there is a company called Send Cut Send. Send Cut Send, and you upload the file that you want them to cut. You choose your material, and just logging in to my account. And so for 2 of them, now, so this is Canadian. For 2 of them, they were $125.96 Canadian, plus tax, plus a $19 flat shipping cost. I don't know what the cost would be if you happen to be in the United States of America, but you wouldn't have to deal with the extra shipping and the customs and all that kind of stuff. I just got both of them at the same time, because they'll probably be the only 2 I need of this kit, likely. And I can always order others if necessary. But yeah, so Send Cut Send is where they get sent to. If you're interested in this, Hagen Miller is more than willing to give you the file that you need for it. And yeah, it's a really good option. Let's see. Jordan says, love all of the engineering. I mean, the armature. You know what? I'm kind of just doing some talking stuff right now. So why don't I just switch over to here for the moment? Honestly, working through the armature has been the biggest part of this model, because really, I don't think the armature that they provided, the hollow resin arm, was going to cut it. So just working through all this part, I think, has been the most time-consuming, kind of most intensive part of this whole thing. And we're almost there. Almost there. Once the discs come in and I get how it's going to connect to the arm all sorted, then I can really move on to the rest of the build. So yeah, it's and I think that there's a couple options now available for people to model their armatures after, because Lou and Phil are doing it one way. I mean, they're doing a similar metal arm like I'm doing. I've approached mine a little bit differently, especially on the end here, where the metal arm is don't mind the rough weld here. The metal plate that we put the arm onto extends over the back so that it gives an additional connection for the pylons. So that's a little bit different. Um, and they're doing like an X frame from their metal arm that they're connecting just in 4 points to their saucer. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have that better kind of like all around, take all this, spread the stress out over the whole model. So there's a couple, there's options available that people can model their armature after now, which I think is a good thing for this build, because there just was nothing available. And if you've never done anything like that before, it's nice to be able to go and have a guide to follow for that. Let's see. Blair says none for me. I'm assuming you're referring to commercials. Jordan says no commercials yet for me. Skull says none for me. Donnie says, okay, I'm back. Gotta let the glue on the nacelle dry. Thanks for spending time here while you wait for glue to dry. Aligning the star. Jordan says, very reasonable. Tim says, thank you. You're welcome, Tim. And hope your build goes well. I'm looking forward to seeing how all of these builds turn out when they're done, because I'm sure that every single one will be a little bit different. Todd says, no commercials for me, but I have premium. Okay. Donnie says, same here. Todd says, sent you a slightly updated circle logo in Discord. Oh, I see I have a message in Discord. Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting approach. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like how you would like do one of those circle things on a like on a sweater or a t-shirt or like that, anything like that, right? Interesting, cool. Thanks, Todd. All right, let me get that off my screen. Okay. All right. Where were we? Cleaning this out. I sure have made lots of progress tonight, haven't I? Let's see if I can actually get this thing in here. No, but it's made it possible to pull. It's separated some of the epoxy. Ah, I'm on the wrong camera. There we go. That's better. Whew, scared me for a moment. All right, let's see what I can get done on here. Yeah, Danny, doesn't seem like other people are having the issues, which seems very strange. Let me get something to pry this. Just a moment. Should have said, after these messages, we'll be right back. Jordan says, the way I see it, if you get anything done on stream, it's a win sometimes. Yeah, very much so, right? I did have a chance to get some work done today. Let me take my glasses off. This should just open it enough for me. To clean a little bit more of that epoxy off. Oh yeah, that's working so much better. And I haven't sliced myself since before stream. So that's a positive. this is the way. Don't mind me while I go quiet here for a moment. That might be enough in that one section. But I'm going to have to do this, so the four corners need some work. So I'm going to do just one corner, get some fresh epoxy in, and clamp it really well down. Clearly I didn't get it clamped down well enough last time. So, let's see. Ken says, sorry, stepped away to send an email to Helios looking to get a 150... yeah. I want to build one. Jordan says, yes, Ken, that's awesome. Let's see. June 1st, 1992 changed my life forever. Inner Light, what hooked all of you? Blair, are you talking about the episode Inner Light? A while ago, I did an off-topic video on my channel where I did a piano cover of First Contact theme, and I've been considering doing a cover of the song The Inner Light, and do it split screen, so half the screen doing piano and on the other half doing tin flute with it. So I'm considering doing that just for fun. But do love the song from Inner Light. Blair says, Ken, I just did the same. Ken says, I'm curious on the pricing. It's a lot, Ken. It's a lot. It's take the registry number of the Enterprise and add about $900 to it. Then you'll understand. Pricing has been put into the chat, and Ken says that sounds good to me. Blair says, me too. Donnie says the 350 Excelsior is so sweet. Blair says Inner Light was mind-bending. Yeah, really cool. Jordan says March 20th, 1989, The Dolphin. Blair, fantastic question. The first episode of Star Trek I ever remember seeing was on its first airing, and it was the episode where No One Has Gone Before, TNG first season episode. And my dad was watching it in our basement. We had a house fire in 89, December of 89. And I know it was first run because it was ways before that. When I was growing up, it was always, things were divided as pre-fire and post-fire in how we remembered everything. But yeah, where No One Has Gone Before was the one with Zelensky and the Traveler and the warp warp experiments, and they end up in the bubble land and stuff, and they see all of the visions of what's going on, or they manifest from their thoughts. And so the first scenes of Star Trek I ever saw was Picard with his grandma in the hallway, and the girl ballerina dancing in the cargo bay, and Picard stepping out into the void of space at warp speed from the turbo shaft. So that was my very first experience with Star Trek, and I thought it was a little weird. I was young, and I thought it was a little weird, but it was a bit of a strange episode to kind of like walk in on, right? So, let's see. Danny says 18 USD. This D was about the same price, right? No, it was less. I find that a complete ripoff. I'm sorry, I know the manufacturing is expensive, but 18 for it. I'm expecting more on a model. Well, it comes with a full metal armature. The 350 comes with a full metal armature, and it looks absolutely, it looks freaking amazing as a model kit. Todd says, "Oh man, Andrew, that response to Ken, it has been recorded." It's like, you're getting it. Yeah, it's gonna be a big loss. Aye, and the right little good deal. It's gonna be a big loss, and I don't think she's gonna do transwarp. Yeah, but Jordan says, "Haha, Todd." And Tim says, "Saw reruns of TOS in the 70s." Yeah. After my encounter with TNG, by like just walking in on my dad watching it when it was first airing, then I also that's not what I wanted to do. You don't need double me. I wanted to go like this. There we go. My next experience with Star Trek was about 6 episodes of the original series. One of them I know was Cat's Paw. I can't remember what the others were, but my granddad had put together a VHS tape for me of like 5 or 6 of the original series episodes, and I got that, and I watched that VHS over and over and over again. And then he gave me a VHS with like the first 6 episodes of The Next Generation, and I watched that over and over and over again. And then, so by the time I started watching The Next Generation properly, when it was in first airing, was during the episode where they met Tasha's sister, and they had to go through the underground complex to save the men that had crashed on the planet. I can't remember what the episode was called. And then soon after that, there was Remember Me. And Remember Me was cool for me seeing initially because I had seen where no one has gone before on that VHS tape that my granddad had got me. So that was kind of cool to see the tie-in with the Traveler and everything like that. And that's where I started watching Star Trek. And right from that point, I started taping every single episode of TNG on VHS, and I still have a lot of those VHS tapes. And I would sit there and I'd edit out the commercials as I was recording it. I got really good at editing out the commercials as I was recording it. So, let's see. I ballparked it. Let's see. Not sure what you mean, Blair. Jordan says, "Great impression, Andrew." Actually, so the phrase to get me into the accent, I think it was an episode from Relics. I mean, I think it was a line that Scotty says in Relics. "Aye, and that right lot of good it'll do ya." That's how I get into that. And then I can either go guttural for the Scottish, "Aye, and the right little good it'll do ya," or "Aye, and the right little good it'll do ya." Go more in the front of my mouth for the Irish, for like the stereotypical Irish, right? Not the kind of Irish you would naturally hear. Blair says, I remember Inner Light. I did not sleep that night. Blair says, I was 12. Yeah. 12 when Inner Light comes on. I mean, you've got to be in the same age range as me, sort of. Within a couple of years, anyway. Ken says, it looks like you could build it in an afternoon when you watch the video. Obviously, with lighting and paint, it's going to take a long time to complete. Yeah. Todd says, oh man, clip that too. Time to merge them. What did you clip? What did you clip? You're scaring me. Danny says, I learned about Star Trek when I was 7 years old. It would air on Friday nights, and my mom was always like, you want to watch Mr. Spock with me? Yeah, I've had a good upbringing. Very cool. And Blair says, awesome, Danny. Yeah, very cool. I remember the first day that Voyager was airing. It was a Sunday, early afternoon, at least where we were, that it was on TV. And I was all ready to watch the very first episode of Voyager as it was airing. And wouldn't you know it, football. I have a dislike for football to this day because my first episode of Voyager was preempted by football, and it took forever for them to finish the game. Football. And of course, they didn't start the episode at the beginning. The pilot episode was, we now return to our regularly scheduled programming, already in progress. I have a worthy disdain for American football to this day because of that. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm going to squeeze some fresh epoxy in there, and I'm going to clamp that down really, really well. That I can do while I pay attention to chat. Donnie says, first episode of Star Trek of Trek I saw was the TOS episode This Side of Paradise, where the plant life releases spores that made everybody happy. Yeah. Oh, one of the other episodes I'm pretty sure was on the tape that my granddad gave me was Shore Leave, or whatever it's... what's the Shore Leave episode called? TOS Shore... Is it called Shore Leave? Yeah, I guess it's called Shore Leave. Where they beam down to the planet and they start meeting all these weird things, like the Alice in Wonderland rabbit and stuff. Yeah, that was on. That was one of the ones that was on. One of the other ones that was on was the episode with Finney. No, not Finney. No, Finnegan was the guy in Shore Leave. I am blanking on my episode titles here. TOS episode. Jettison the pod. Court martial, of course. Yeah, where they think that the guy died when Kirk jettisoned the pod, but he was actually still on the ship and causing problems. Yeah, that episode was on it too. And then they fight at the end, and Kirk's shirt gets ripped. I'm pretty sure his shirt got ripped in Shore Leave too when he was fighting Finnegan or Finn or whatever the guy's name was. Tim says United Paramount Network sent out a pack of Voyager logo microwave popcorn for the premiere in California. Still have it. Wouldn't need it. Yeah, we didn't have UPN, so, but it was on Finnegan. Finnegan in the was Finnegan in the one in Shore Leave that Kirk fights, or was he the one in Court Martial that he fights at the end? Which one was it? And of course, when I think of Finnegan, I think of a gray dog puppet. That's what I think of when I hear the name Finnegan. Casey and Finnegan. Do 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 do. And Jordan says Kirk's velour shirts were awful weak. Blair says, so cool, Tim. It's amazing how many remember these episodes in our lives. Star Wars can suck it. Yeah. He was Justin. So Finnegan was the guy in the pod. Yeah. And then his daughter comes on board, and there's only the court martial people and his daughter, and because the orbit's degrading and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. So those are 3 of the episodes that I was first exposed to for TOS, for those old scientists. Talking about seasons and episodes of Star Trek, I still cannot watch Prodigy Season 2. If somebody has a digital version of Prodigy Season 2, please let me know. Please send it to me, because it is tough to avoid spoilers, and there's a lot of stuff in there that will affect other stuff coming up in Trek, and I want to know what's going on, but I want to be able to watch it without just getting the spoilers. So if anybody has digital files for Prodigy Season 2, please send it to this Canadian, because in Canada we do not have access to it yet. I don't know how many people watch Prodigy, but I mean, it's Trek. I'm going to watch it. Jordan says it's very good. Are you talking about Prodigy Season 2? Yeah, I would like to get my hands on it. If you've got access to it and you've got OBS, you can create a digital file and send it to me. Because I have yet to see it. All right, I need to get some epoxy down onto this kit. So let's create an epoxy palette. And Blair, if you're going to do the 350 Excelsior, we'll do a good deal on that as a returning customer. Plus, it'll be good content for my channel. That might be too much. Sometimes you can't control just how much epoxy comes out. Let's see. Jordan said almost surprisingly good, and yes, he is talking about Prodigy. And Blair says Enterprise B coming right up Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. All right, way more epoxy than I needed, but sometimes too much comes out of the tube, and you just live with it. What I'm going to do this time around, though, is I'm going to feed it in the back. So if you can't see this portion of it, I do apologize. I'm feeding some in through the back. of the plate. And I will put some in the front. This is some 5-minute epoxy, if you're curious. I'm kind of just having to toothpick it in there. All right, I'm just gonna get a small piece of paper towel and wipe the excess off. Because it's easier to do that now than it is once it's cured. All right, I'm gonna get a smaller. That's probably one of the smallest cloths I have here. Oh, let me take that off the screen. And I'm choosing the nuclear option here. All right. That's going to sit on there. That's going to sit on there for a good long time. So I'm going to run this over to another table I have off camera, and I'll be right back. All right, let's get caught up on the chat. Ian says, lying this to Jordan, you should look into getting the 2 separate bottles of epoxy, much cheaper unit price for the amount you get and better control of the mix, as well as no tip fouling or whatever. Jordan says, ha ha ha, I see what you did there. Ken says, hey Ian. And Ian says, hi Ken, hope you're feeling a bit better. And Jordan says, and Jordan, look up the mini DeWalt bar clamps. They will be much more gentle than the... Uh-huh. Yeah, I think you're just perpetuating the meme, right? Ken's Hobby Bench says, Andrew, you want a 350 Excelsior? Man, I would love to get a 350 Excelsior at some point. But it looks like I might be building one if Blair gets it. Probably get it drop shipped and build it. Because I'm itching to get to build that kit because it looks fantastic. And Tim says, are you also not using the Helios decals? I am not using the Helios decals. No. I am painting it, and I will not use wallpaper decals. I just will not use wallpaper decals because I think painting is so much better. My experience on the Enterprise E has taught me that painting is much better. Let me just go to the Enterprise E in my files. Final Pictures Final for Real this time, I think, is the folder. Yeah, so I did this. Let me just get this off. So I did this. It's all painted. And all of the Aztec is painted. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit here. Where is that? Yeah, position. So all of those Aztecs on there are hand masked with blue painter's tape. When I was first doing this, I was talking to masking people and talking to other people and people who should know what they were talking about, etc. Everybody told me you cannot paint the Aztecs on the 1400 Enterprise D. And these areas, the darker gray areas that kind of go out on both sides away from the bridge area, those are painted as well. Those are not the decals. The only decals I used on the kit, the only kit decals I used were the escape pods. Let me just move this over here. The registry, those type of decals. And then I also created, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find them on here on this image or not. But yeah, you can see, so in the crease, like in the step down just underneath the dark gray area, you can see some additional decals in there. Some behind the conference room. Let me just move this around a little bit and see if I can find some more. But there's these little tiny markings all over the hull. I'm not finding any right here in this limited kind of view. But yeah, so ever since I did that, ever since I did the full paint on this, I'm like, I am never using wallpaper decals. And the thing with the Helios decals is that, one, they're poor quality, they're inkjet prints, but all of the markings are embedded with the wallpaper Aztecing, and I do not like using them. Now, Helios did send me some decals of the markings only, but again, they are inkjet prints. So Lou Del Maso, Aztec Dummy, has redone a bunch of the artwork, is having Keith do up proper decals with white backing and white toner and all that kind of stuff. And so I am going to get a couple sets of those from Keith, and Keith is also going to make sure that he edits for the custom name and registry that's happening on one of these. I might have to send him my artwork for the escape pods, because Lou's artwork is not going to have all the sequentially numbered escape pods like I want, and they will not have the custom name on them for one of two of these. So I might need to send him my own custom artwork for that, but we are going to get better decals for that. Where did I leave off? Ian says, I get you guys mixed up sometimes. Yeah, just keeping the meme going. Sorry, the guys made the joke about you two so many times it legit forget who was commenting too. Ken says, want me to get you one, Andrew? Get me one what? I still remember watching you build that. Yeah, it was cool. Everybody told me you can't paint it, and I'm like, that just tells me I'm going to paint it all the more. it's too bad that that particular model is not alive anymore. I repaired it once. I'm not repairing it again. Jordan says, I'll be right back. Gotta run to the store real fast. After these messages, we'll be right back. Tim says, I have the mass design mask for the 650 scale Enterprise E. Beautiful work on yours. Thank you. And actually, after I did that, Mask Design decided to go ahead and make a masking set for the 1400 scale Enterprise after seeing what I had done on that. And I have the masks here. I'm going to be trying them on one of the 1400 scale E's that I have, getting closer to paint jobs. Yeah, that would be real. I've got a 650E in the shop. It's one of the opaque ones that Ed did, based on the old Sovereign Replicas kit. And what was I going to say? Yeah, I have a copy of that kit. Problem is, it's opaque, and if I was ever going to build it, I'd have to actually clean out the windows on a fiberglass kit to get those. So I think if I ever build it, I'll get a translucent version. Danny says, everything is possible if you are not suffering from get-or-done-itis. Yeah. I'm hoping that one of our fellow model builders does not give into the get-or-done-itis on the 650 scale Enterprise D build, because there's a certain individual who builds models on YouTube who does tend to suffer from get-or-done-itis, and hopefully he does not suffer from that this time around. Danny also says, yeah, for 2,000-ish USD, I would expect the decals that actually come with the ship are actually usable. Yeah, yeah. Hopefully they've learned for the Excelsior. Ken says, Andrew, do you want me to get you a 1-350 Excelsior kit? Have you seen the price of those? Have you seen the price of them? That's not just something you get somebody willy-nilly. That would be yeah. I would think you were joking, but I know what you've done with the other guys. That would be one. That would be one heck of a super chat. I honestly don't know what to say. I mean, I would not want to pressure you on that one way or another. That would be completely and totally ridiculous. I mean, I will leave that to you, Ken. I mean, if you did that, that would be mind blowing. I will leave that. I will leave that to you. Yeah. I mean, Helios has my address. You can do what you want with that, but I mean, that would be ridiculous. I will just say that would be entirely ridiculous. Yeah, that would be absolutely ridiculous. I wouldn't know what to do with with that. I mean, yes, I do. I would build it, but yeah. So I mean, I'm not going to say anything else. Yeah, I mean, you can do what you would like. I'm not going to pressure one way or the other. Because part of the reason is that it's because I wording is difficult now. Wording is difficult. So yeah, yeah, they've shipped me 2 Enterprise Ds so far. So that they Daniel at Helios knows where I am. Yeah, that would be nuts. Let's see if I can get back to the chat here. Ian says, yeah, Ken, wow, are you running a high fever? Ian says he's gonna cry. Ken says no strings attached. Ken says to good people come good things. Andrew is getting Horvathed. It would be great to watch you build the Excelsior on your channel, yeah. The Excelsior or the B. They're both awesome. Let's see. Ian says, Andrew, it brings joy to Ken to give things to people. It's a bonus that he gets to watch people build the items. Todd says, speechless Andrew. Ken says, so they would know where to ship it. Yeah. Danny says, only get it to him when he loses his next 20 pounds. Yeah. Todd says, welcome to being Horvathed. Danny says, sorry, Dutch humor. No, I get it. Todd says, oh, I love the plan, Danny. It can be a gift for reaching your weight goal. Donnie says, Ken, you are a great guy. Ken says, okay, I will get you one. That's ridiculous. Danny says Andrew prefers the Enterprise B, just saying. Ken, you are the man. This was super, Ken. Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy is all I can say. Utterly ridiculous. I mean, again, no pressure, Ken. But if that's what if that's buttons, if that's what you do, thank you. I'll bring it to Wonderfest. Let's see. Danny says, now Andrew, we just have to put lasers in that one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we would have to put lasers in it. Sea bass with lasers. Yeah. All right. Let's see what I can get done here. Let's switch back to desk view. See if my face can pop back in there. I did a thing. So I was actually sitting on Jordan's stream, and I was continuing to fill the lower section that goes with this, with the windows with solar res, and I realized I hadn't light blocked the inside yet, so I had to go through and I had to mask the insides of the windows that I had filled, so that I could light block that. So, which is good that I didn't go ahead and do it on this one, because this one would have been more of a nightmare. So what I've got here is the lower secondary hall. It's been light blocked now, so it's got the black coat, it's got the white coat, did that today. Um, the windows are a little bit messy in here because the white primer is a pain. I hate the white primer. It is, it always gives me trouble. Let's see. Keen Starship, Ian says the honorary captain of the ship will have to be Captain Horvath. Yes. Maybe he gets things sooner than Tuesday. Ken says, do they do the Enterprise B? And if so, would you prefer that? I think you can get it in either the Excelsior or the Enterprise B version. And I think the Enterprise B would be the way to go, I think. You kidding? It should be named the USS Horvath. Ian says, touche, Todd. Yeah. So this has been corrected. The windows look a little bit messy here, but they look fine from the outside when the light's coming through. I really don't have a way of showing you that right now. So fortunately, did that before I got too far in the process. I still have some windows on this side to fill. I do have on the part that I fixed the one corner on tonight. You know, the whole amount of work I've done on the stream fixing that one corner. So I've got the windows on that part fully masked, and then I've started working on masking the other copy of this part. And I've got all of the lower windows here, the back of the neck windows on the spine, and then I've got most of the way on one side of the neck, so that's coming alongside. And then so I got this, before I forgot to, I got this light blocked and then white painted on the inside. But I hate that white primer. I'm gonna have to figure out a better white primer to use because it was terrible. Which using the Rust-Oleum for the gray and the black works beautifully. It's beautiful for that. It's just the white just seems to be an issue. And Ken says, okay, I will see what I can do on the B. Very, very much appreciated. I literally don't know what to say with that. So, maybe I'll be building 2 of them back to back. Yeah, it's... So, when the stream's done, in about 20 minutes, I'm going to head upstairs, and if my wife's awake, she's going to ask me how the stream went. Ugh. Hey, let's see. So Skull says, very nice, Ken. Blair says Ken's the man. Danny says very cool stuff, Ken, amazing. Ken says to my fellow Canadian, again, thank you. Blair says don't cry. Yeah, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not crying, you're crying. Yeah, I'm starting to get good at building 2 ships at a time. I've got 2 of these Enterprise Ds going. I've got 2 Enterprise Es going. Blair, that just means that if you get it, then yours doesn't have to. yours won't have to be the one that that goes to Wonderfest. I can't take 2 ships that size to Wonderfest. Only one will fit in the Tesla. So I'm just going through and bulk masking this part. I've already got all the masks ready for these windows on here. Danny says, or 3 or 4. Yeah, I am building 4 ships at the same time right now. 2 Ds and 2 Es. Donnie says, you're a great guy, Andrew. You deserve this. Well, I don't know if I deserve it, but I certainly do appreciate it. It's crazy. Once the... I just want to say something about the Enterprise Ds here. Once the armature is finally sorted, and once those aluminum discs come in on Monday, I will need to find a day where I can do the hour-and-a-half drive to my parents' place and get into my dad's workshop and get the rest of the metal work done. And once that armature work is done, I think the rest of this is actually going to progress. I'm not going to say fast because I can't build fast. Because kids and family and life. But I think that once the armature is taken care of, then most of this is going to go quite quickly. We'll get the lighting installed. I think the most difficult thing about the lighting is just figuring out the pathway the data is going to take through the ship and getting that sorted. But we'll get the lighting installed, then we'll get the thing built, and then it's painting. And Wayne at Motion Picture Miniatures is almost ready to ship me my masks for it. So that's going to be great. Let's see. Todd says now you need a Model X. Yeah, no. I wouldn't actually want a Model X. We have a 2017 Dodge Caravan, which was great when the kids were like babies, and we had to take the world with us. But it is 7 years old now, and we hope we'll get another 3 years out of it, so it does 10 years. There's rust on it. I know that the transmissions on those things don't do well after a certain kilometerage. So we are planning. The goal is to replace the Dodge Caravan with a Model Y. That's our plan. I mean, we've got the charging infrastructure here at home. We love the electric lifestyle. It gets me down to Wonderfest without any problems. And I would probably take the Model Y once we get it. Once we were to get one to Wonderfest, gives me much more space to bring things down. But Model Y would be what we go with, not a Model X. Danny says, oh, by the way, Andrew, I did figure out how to use a Raspberry Pi and an Arduino together. You can use animated LCARs with touch screen and forward the commands to the Arduino that takes care of the LED effects. Very cool. Yeah, maybe we can work maybe we can work on that um, for the bees, and we can try that uh, for them. Blair says, the only reason I have a Helios model is because of you, Andrew. I'm grateful for this build beyond words. I hope you're gonna like it when it's all said and done. I hope you're gonna like it. Tim says Model X plaid. Yeah, I do not need a plaid. I do not need a plaid anything. My very simple rear-wheel drive Model 3 has all kinds of pep and go and speed to it. I don't need more. But yeah, the goal would be for us to replace our Dodge Caravan with a Model Y, and then we've got the SUV, the bit larger SUV when we need the extra space, and we've got the Model 3 sedan for all the running around town we do and stuff like that. So that would be the goal. That's the master plan. I mean, we love the Model 3. We will never go back to a combustion vehicle. I mean, I loathe when I have to go to the gas station and fill up the van. Winter's coming. Serious cold weather is coming. I'm going to have to stand out there with the pump in the cold, freezing cold, pumping gas, where in the car I can just drive home, pull in the driveway, take 10 seconds to plug it in and go in the house. And then the car is warm in the morning when I want to leave. It's just so much better on so many levels. I need a pair of tweezers. But hey, if anybody is in the market for buying a Tesla, I have a referral code on my channel. So when you buy a Tesla, if you use a referral link to then buy it, so you click on the referral link, which takes you to the order page, and if you use that link to order, you get, if you're in the US, you get $1,000 off of the price of your car right off the top. If you're in Canada, it's 1,300 Canadian right off the top. And if you use my referral code, and then I get $500 in Tesla credit, which I could use towards supercharging or 3 months of full self-driving, or even if I got enough, I could put it towards the down payment on a Model Y. So there's some real benefits if anybody's thinking about going a Tesla. Definitely real benefits to using somebody's referral code. Mine is in the link section of my page. Let's see. Ken says, I guess the only thing I would like is for you to keep me informed on where to get the aftermarket parts, light masks, paint colors, decals, that kind of stuff. Of course, I mean, everything, it will be built on my channel. And everything will be available to you and to anybody else who's building it. I mean, I can definitely hook you up with the guy to work on the lighting and stuff like that. Because I mean, we can get Danny to help, or you can make use of the inner lighting kit. There's a couple really good options out there. Tim says, so far everyone builds the Helios D. No one likes the decals, the phaser lighting effect in the kit, or the resin support. That is a bit disappointing as far as the kit goes. Yeah, but you get the shell of the ship, which is huge. It's interesting. So I had the saucer at Wonderfest with the phaser array already cleaned out and replaced with resin, and Phil and Lou saw it, but they were still going back and forth about trying to make use of the holes that were there, and eventually they came around to doing basically the exact same thing that I've done with mine. And I had also, right off the top, I didn't order their lighting. I didn't order their decals. I didn't want their decals because they were wallpaper decals. So I knew right off the top I wasn't doing that, and I knew what I was doing with the phaser array. That was all already set in stone for me, even before I started building it. So, yeah. All right, this part's been oh no, there's a little bit left on the aft section near the torpedo launcher. And it looks like Lou and Phil are going to be using my photon launcher that I had Keith at CosmicScaleModels.com produce for me. So if anybody is so Tim, you might be interested in this. The photon launcher part that comes with the kit is terrible. But now there's some stepping on there I need to deal with that. That's because I don't know how to print. I don't know how to 3D print properly. But this is a photon launcher that I had Keith at Cosmic Scale Models render up for me. I printed it here. First thing I've ever printed, 3D printed. And he's making these available, the print file available to anybody who wants to use it, who's building this kit. So Tim, if you want a print file for a better looking photon launcher, email me, Andrew at CanadianStarships.com. You can email me, and I will send you the print file for that, for the STL for it, or whatever file format it was that he sent me. Danny says, Ken, if you need any help with the lighting, feel free to reach out. Sounds like I'll be building it for Andrew anyways. And Tim says, cool, thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of hive mind going into building these things. And I mean, everybody's building theirs slightly differently, which is cool, and it's great to see how different people are approaching it. But I really appreciate it. Everybody, it seems to be willing to be open and sharing their ideas and thoughts and chatting back and forth, trying to figure out the best options for things. So that's been working out really, really well. All right, so this is kit number 2. I need to clear out, or at least I think I do. Let me check that. Where's my spare? You don't know what I'm talking about. I'll just take it right out of the mount. No, I have not adjusted this one. So the aperture here is an odd size. And I'm not quite sure what pipe they intended to go in here. It's just slightly too small for the 1-inch copper pipe to go in. So I will need to clean that out just ever so slightly with my Dremel and the appropriate bit, kind of like sanding bit on there. And I'll just make that just ever so slightly larger for the 1-inch copper tee, the 1-inch copper pipe to go into. So I've still got that to do. I also have to, I'm going to have to wait. I'm not going to be able to do that. I was thinking about doing that on stream tonight. One, I don't have enough time because there's not much time left in the stream. But I do still need to add the ventral navigation. I think it's a flasher on here. I'd have to double check. But there's a ventral LED that needs to go in here. And it's a bit tricky because it's got to go through the block as well. It's also got to go in before the metal plate goes in. Otherwise, I don't have access to put it in there. So that's going to have to happen. So some of my next jobs on these 2 parts is to open this up so I can get the post in there, get the light installed in here, and finish getting the windows filled with solar res. I'm on my 2nd bottle of solar res now, but I think that should be enough to do the whole ship. So let's see. Ken says, thanks, Danny. I love Star Trek models. However, I come mostly from a model armor background and don't really know much about lighting. None of us knew anything about lighting before we started doing lighting, so it's not rocket surgery. I'll just say that. There are some good best practices out there that are good to follow. It's good to insulate everything. I like to drill through the contacts on LED strips if there's enough space and physically connect the wire through. It's just a best practice that I follow rather than just soldering it on and hoping that solder connection stays. But I mean, apart from some of those best practices, it's really not that difficult to put the lighting in. Danny says, no worries, Ken. I make my stuff plug and play. Ask Andrew. All you need to do is some soldering. It's very doable. Todd says, don't forget to hit the like button. Oh, yes, if you're enjoying the stream, hit the like button. It's been a ridiculous stream. I'll just say that. But yeah, so my next job here is the LED. Opening this up a little bit more and filling the rest of these windows with solar res. I think, fingers crossed, that once I get the solar res in this part, that's all of the windows on both copies of the kit filled. That's been work. That's been a job and a half just doing the windows. And Ken says, thanks, Danny. And Danny says, Andrew can help you get in touch with me. Yeah, if you're all on Facebook, you can easily connect on Facebook. I can make those connections too. If you need me to, just let me know. That is no problem. All right, let me put these over here somewhere. Might as well finish by showing you my masking work so far. Let me clear Danny's chat off of here. So you can see all the little masks, and on the back of the neck there, those are there's several different sizes, and there's the ones that are kind of cut off. And these are much smaller masks than pretty much anywhere else on the ship. Then I've started working on the side, some of those weirdly odd-shaped ones up front here. There's all kinds of different sizes of windows on here. So I'm making progress on that. Got just a little bit more of that side of the neck, and I still have the whole other side of the neck to do. So making progress on all this fiddly work that goes into getting these things done. If I could work 8 hours a day on this, then I'd be a lot further ahead like Phil and Lou are, but I do not have the ability to work 8 hours a day on these. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice to just get to build models all day? That is the dream. But yeah, the paint job on the inside, I hate the white paint. I hate the Rust-Oleum white. It's the worst of the Rust-Oleum paints I've used. So don't worry about what the inside paint job looks like. That's just there to help bounce the light around. It's not meant to be looked at. Yeah, so, and Tim, if you're still here, if you've got a silhouette or access to a silhouette Cameo 4 or similar, I can probably hook you up with some window mask files as well, because I don't know if Wayne is producing window masks along with the Aztec masks. I doubt it. I don't know if Lou's making his masks available to anybody. I don't know, but I can definitely make any of my window mask files for the Cameo 4. I think it's the same software for the Cameo 5, but I can make those available to anybody who wants them as well. Ken says that's perfect. Yeah. All right. So that's where we're at on this. And if you're curious, I can't talk anymore. So if you're curious about the Enterprise E projects, they are on the bench behind me. They're still in SeamWorld. SeamWorld takes quite a while on the Enterprise E's. Just areas that need a lot of work. But I'm closing in on being ready to prime. Because I will do the best seam work I can before primer goes down. Then I will prime with the gray, and that will reveal anything else, any other seam work that needs to be taken care of. Because it can be hard to see the imperfections before the gray goes down, but the gray seems to reveal everything. So I'm gonna just switch over to here now. All right, I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you everyone who has joined the stream, who's participated in the chat. I'm just checking. There has been no chat come through from Twitch tonight, so I haven't been able to check to see if my chat software is working properly, but that is fine. Twitch is just a secondary streaming service I'm using just to see if I can collect a few more people into being aware of my channel. I'm not really expecting to do much with that. It's there, it's streaming, it's simple to stream to. So yeah, Tim says thank you. Ken says thanks for a great stream show, Andrew. Take care, everyone. Have a great night, and thank you, Ken. You're absolutely ridiculous. I don't even know what else to say. Yeah, everybody's saying good night. All right, so if you've enjoyed this, get rid of this first. If you've enjoyed the stream, make sure that you hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, you haven't done so yet, why not hit that subscribe button today? You'll make me very happy if you do. But for now, my name is Andrew, and this is Canadian Starships live stream. Have a great night, everyone.